Hello guys, my name is Glurmit and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over 3v3 teams you should maybe invest in. Some are for defense, some are for offense, and some have a little bit of flexibility. 3v3 is fast approaching, guys, so let me know down in the comments what teams are your go-to for this game mode. And at the beginning, we do have a newer team, guys. This does require a couple of Omicrons to work, but this team is amazing. Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the statistics on the side so you guys can actually see what we're talking about here. And we are looking at Seer, Crew, and Starkiller. Now, it hasn't been set much, okay? However, when it has been set, you're looking at only a 39% success rate. And if we look at without an attack in GL, we're looking at a 20% success rate. This team is incredibly strong. Now, Starkiller will not be getting his ultimate per se as quick as he normally would because he's not going to be assisting because there's no Sif in here. However, he gains all the bonuses from the Seer Omicron. So he's going to be immune to daze. Obviously, he already is immune to ability block. Now he's going to be immune to stun, which again, I know he kind of already is because of his Omicron. He's going to be giving a little bit of speed, so you can keep up. You got the damage immunity coming in. You have Seer with the insta kill. Starkiller has a dispel. It's honestly a really good team. It's one of those ones I wouldn't recommend you use this if you don't have any investment in the team. But if you have Seer's Omicron and you have Starkiller and you're not using him for Ray, then I would say go ahead and give this one a go. Just bear in mind, guys, if your opponent does have Ray, Cal, and Ben, you may need to save Starkiller to beat that because that team's so powerful on defense. Alright guys, the next team on the list is a Radish team. Now I know a lot of you have Profundity and a lot of you want to have Profundity, so I want to make sure you're setting the best possible team on defense here, guys. So the Radish team typically in threes, I think, performs a little bit better than it does in fives. It does have a 71% success rate if we look at non-attacking GLs. However, if we look at common counters such as Bad Batch is 54%. I would honestly recommend, guys, you put Baze in here because what he's going to be doing, if your opponent's not paying attention and Baze does take a turn, he is going to be buff dispelling. They lose the defense up, and it's a battle that is just so sketch anyway. I just think this is probably the best split you can do, and we'll show you why. I know a lot of you do Radish, Jhin, Cassian. I think that is a big mistake. I also think doing Radish, Jhin, K2 doesn't really make a lot of sense because K2 has so much synergy in the team with Cassian, right? So you don't really want to be doing that. And then there's an option you can run Scarif. I just think Baze is the best because of the buff dispel, because of the AoE. That's why I would run Baze here, but I understand a lot of you don't have him, so do substitute him out for maybe Scarif. I do think you need a tank here though, guys. In threes, it's really a matter of how long can you last before Radish ults, and this is probably the best team you can use. Now, next up, guys, look at this. I gave you a hint there. We do have the Mothma team, so it's going to be Mothma, Kyle, Cassian. This is your best chance at cleaning up Jabba in threes, because in threes you don't have POW and Scout boosting your TM, so you want to bring Cassian. You want to make sure he has good potency because you want to be landing the shot grenade, which is going to give healing immunity, offense down, speed down, the ability block, all of those fun things. Also, he can do this one, and his basic also inflicts buff immunity. So you do want to make sure you are controlling Jabba. This is the best Mothma cleanup you can do. I think it's like a 60% success rate. But obviously, with the current Kron set, if you have decent armor penetration, guys, you may be in a good position. Alright, guys, moving on to the next team here, we have the Reva offense. Now, Reva in threes, typically, if you're using a GL, it's going to be easier to beat her. However, if you aren't using a GL, you're actually going to have a little bit of a harder time. So guys, in 3v3, Reva has a 65% success rate, and if you do non-attack in GLs, it's 58%. Now, if you look at Treya, for example, from 12,000 battles, it's only a 72% success rate in 3v3, and if you add in bulk chromes and all that fun stuff, it could even be a little bit more difficult. Now I know you do have the insta kills that do come in, but in general there's a chance that someone does die, right? So you need a counter, guys, and honestly this works a lot better. You can run Malgus, Malik Talon, and this is like an 88% success rate, and this will free up Treya, which can be used elsewhere, and it also gives you a better chance against Reaver. And then you can run this team, guys, which is like anti-General Skywalker. You can run Revan, Bastila, Savage, and if you want to go next level, you can have the level 5 unlock, or level 6 unlock on the Datacron from last set that gives ability blocks from a Sith when no one else is ability blocked. And then you have two fantastic teams. Because otherwise what you're going to do is you're going to set Malgus with Revan. Chances are you're just going to be Seed anyway, or General Skywalker or something like that. But if you have Savage in this team, it stops gas, and then this team here will be used for Reaver. This is something you may want to try out, or maybe you want to stick to Treya. It's up to you. And then we have Hera, Rex, Chopper. Now if you are someone who's investing for Leia, or just someone who's gearing this up, this is a team that can beat Aphra on defense. In 3v3, Aphra is a lot stronger than 5s, so you need a counter to her, and this can work. Now I'm not going to say it will work at low gear. I'm going to test it if I see Aphra, but I think you may need relics. But it's for those of you who are investing in Rex now for the next couple of 3v3s, maybe this is a team you decide to use. Next up, we have a team that if you decided to set this Seer team, you may opt to set this as a second team. Palpatine Murdered Sith Assassin. This does require the Sith Assassin Datacron, but if you have that, this is also a team that's worth setting 100%. Also, if you do decide to do that, guys, there is another team you can actually set with Starkiller. If you want to set him on defense, you can actually set something like this. And surprisingly, it works really, really well. So you do something like this. It's one of those weird ones that does somehow work quite nicely. Then we have Dash Vandal L3. It's one of those good teams to join out Jednat Revan or other big counters such as Treya. Just make sure you have decent relic levels, otherwise one per major solid. Then we have Tuskens, guys. Now if you have Tusken Chieftain Omicron like I do, you may opt to use Boba Fett Son of Django. If you don't be afraid to set Tusken Chieftain, Tusken Raider, Tusken Warrior. This team, again, is one of those surprising ones, and it actually works really, really well. So we have Tusken Chieftain here, we have Tusken Warrior, Tusken Raider, and you do need the Omicron and Tusken Raider. Now that will cancel out the Omicron for Tusken Warrior, Tusken Chieftain, sorry. But honestly, it's not the end of the world. So if I was to show you this, you guys are going to see it has an incredibly high hold rate when there's no attacking GLs. General Skywalker struggles, Treya struggles, Wampa basically doesn't win. It's incredibly powerful, and if anything, it works better than the Boba Fett Son of Django version, which if I get that one up, you guys are going to see, if we run the Boba Fett Son of Django version, it's actually easier to beat. So that is something for you to think about. There are benefits of running Silent Django, and maybe you want to make the most of your teams. But if you don't have the Omicron Chieftain and you do have it on Raider, run this team, guys, even at low gears. You're not going to regret it. And then the final team for today is going to be Shakti Bad Batch. It's one of those teams I do recommend you guys consider using. If Bad Batch aren't as good in freaks, and if you want to split your teams up, Shakti Echo Tech is a really, really strong team, and it can be beaten. It's not to say that it can't, but the teams that are beating it are high value teams that you're probably not going to get the most value from. If I grab the stats for you guys so you can see what we're talking about here, we have Shakti, we have Tech, and we have Echo here. And honestly, guys, it's a pretty good team here. So here we go. Here are the stats: 62% win rate without a GL, 60%, and the teams it's drawing are all high value teams. So these are some teams that I'd recommend you guys maybe consider going into 3v3. Let me know down in the comments, are there any that you would recommend others to use? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. My name is Glummet, and as always, guys, have a glummet day.